Hello, my name's Rob, and this is the Honest Wargamer. Today I'm joined by my erstwhile yet gorgeous friend, Mr.
Erstwhile Nathan.
Erstwhile Nathan. Brilliant. Today we're going to do a rundown on Bat Swarms, which is a unit you can find in Warhammer Age of Sigmar in the Death faction. Because it's Halloween.
Yeah, it's
Halloween.
A death thing.
Yeah, if you're listening to us on the podcast, thanks very much. That's very cool. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is my face, and that's Nathan's face. Nice. And if you're listening to us back on Twitch or watching this live now, you guys race. Thanks very much. And of course, these things have all been brought to you by the people who sponsor us on Patreon. We have no other affiliation. So if we think something sucks, we'll say it sucks. If we think something's great, say it's great. No one's given us a copy of Shadespire to tell us it's good. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm sure if you like it, you like it, and that's great, but I don't care. Right.
Sweet.
Yes. So we're going to be doing a rundown on Bat Swarms. If you're not sure what rundown is, the first time you ever listened, for some reason on Earth, Bat Swarms are the unit that you love beyond all others, and that's what made you listen to the show first.
Yeah.
A rundown is where we go through a unit, all the ways you can use it in a game. We talk about it until there's nothing left to say, and then we are done.
Cool.
Right. We have a format, and the format always goes, we talk about the narrative, we talk about the model, and then we talk about its rules in the game, and at the end of it, we talk about the points.
Yeah.
And what it's like in General's Handbook.
Here we go. All about Bat Swarms.
So, where the hell are the snake swarms? That's a great question from the chat. So, we'll start with the model of Bat Swarms.
Yeah.
I would rate these. Yeah.
Out of 10.
I would, in order to take these home, it would have to be a Saturday night. I'm very drunk. It's 2:50 in the morning. The club closes at 3, and I'm really lonely, and I really want someone to cuddle, and I don't care what they look like. That would be the only way I'd take a Bat Swarm home.
Yeah, they look shit.
Terra Penguin says the Bat meta. John Ralston on Twitter specifically was saying that he's just used some Bat Swarms today and is excited about us talking about Bat Swarms. They are pretty bad as the model. Yeah. There are ways to improve them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy other bats.
Yeah. Or just go to your local toy store and buy loads of Batmen, and then because I'm Batman.
Oh my god! So what you're saying is if you put as many Bat Swarms in your army as possible, you could roleplay as Batman and just go, "I'm Batman."
Because I'm Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
Now when I do the What Is video about this, I have to dress up in a Batman outfit. Because I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
So normal day of the week then.
Oh, the Tabletop Colonel says Lord of the Rings Bat Swarms are where it's at. I did not know that there was some.
Oh, there you go.
Right, well these suck. They look rubbish. So what about the narrative? That'll really pull us through.
Yeah, they're bats.
Good. Covered. We've covered it. We've covered it. They're bats. Ooh, okay.
They got wings.
Okay.
Bats.
Are these flying off the shelves, these things?
That must be. Oh, Lego Batman models. Good call.
Right, okay. All right. Yeah, and that's true. And we're recording this on Halloween. So if you're listening to it in that kind of time period, there'll be some cheap costumes going tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this is great.
Just go pluck them off the...
Yeah. That's a cool list already, though. Zombie Dragon, Terrorgeist, and then just as many Bat Swarms as you could put in an army. Right, okay. So they suck, and there's no background, like all of Death, apart from Flesh Eater Corps, which is very cool background.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're very much like they need some love. I'm sure they're not long for this world because they look awful. But anyway, move on. And if you love them, you love them, which is amazing. Yeah. And if you really like it and you're like, shut up, Rob, I love these models, then more power to you. Yeah, you crack on. And send us your pictures of your Bat Swarms. Yeah. But like, these are my most favouriteest of all Bat Swarms.
Yeah. And make your way down to that optician and get your eyes sorted.
It's an aesthetic choice, Nathan. It's an aesthetic choice.
That as well.
Right, so let's talk about first thing we're going to do after the in-depth look at the narrative there. What was the narrative, Nathan, again? Remind me quickly.
They were bats.
Right, good,
Yeah.
solid. Right.
There's bats.
We're going to do the stats, then we're going to do about how you can improve them, and then we're going to talk about them in competitive match play. Thank you for putting that in there, Tabletop Colonel. Yeah, they've got a strong aesthetic. So, let's start off with the stats. They move 12, and they can fly.
That's great.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Especially if they're bats. But the great thing about these bats is you can fly them in the day as well.
You can, yeah. That's nice. Well, is there day and night time in the mortal realms? Do you know something I don't know?
Yeah. There's day and night time.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there other times? Like, do they have a third time period that we don't have?
They've got so many more time periods that we don't have.
Really?
Yeah.
Many.
More.
As many as people who think that the Sigmar narrative is new, refreshing, and interesting. Yeah. And not exactly like 40k.
Well, yeah. That as well.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely
Thank
the same.
goodness I've not read any 40k.
That's right. We're doing the stats of the bats. Bat stats.
Cool.
What's the bat stats?
12.
Which is your favourite Batman?
Don't
Don't say George Clooney.
No.
Everyone in the chat, what's your favourite Batman?
I quite like Christian Bale. I thought he was quite a good Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. In the first one, maybe.
Yeah, in some of them.
Yeah. Adam West is not the best Batman. Lego, Adam West and everyone. George Clooney's nipples says not Lee. Lego Batman says Bruce Bruce.
Yeah. Lego Batman's pretty good.
Okay. All right. And if you're watching at home, let us know who your favourite Batman is. I'd like to know. Right. So they move 12. Awesome in the game. 5 wounds per base. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they start off in a unit of 2, I'm pretty certain.
2 bases.
2 bases. And they've got 5 wounds each, and they are save dash.
Save dash.
Save dash.
Nice. So
Save dash.
fast.
So fast, so weak. so save dash means that you can't give them a save of any sort, but they will have a deathless minion save, or if you take them in Soul Blight Allegiance, which they can be in, then they get the Deathless Thralls.
Yeah.
Which is basically exactly the same, just given a different name. And in Nighthaunt, it's called Deathless Spirits.
Nice.
Which is cute. Yeah. Oh, nice. So someone in the chat has just worked out for us in a 2,000-point game. If you wanted to take them currently, you could spend £263 on Bat Swarms, and then you'd be sorted. Yeah. Rob, question. General Handbook says there are 2 bases each, but Scroll says that you summon 3. I actually read this earlier and agree. I'm just going to double check now, and that's a little bit unprofessional. It should be in my notes, but there is a disparity between the 2 things.
Of up to 3. So I guess it depends how many you're paying for, right?
Yes. Yeah. So which one can you summon? Come on, let's make this more interesting for the people listening at home. So you can summon a unit of up to 3 Bat Swarms, but you pay for them in units of 2. So
if you were going to summon all 3, then you'd have to pay for 4.
You'd have to pay for 4, and that's not my fault. I'm just telling you that that's the case. So yeah. So that means...
So somebody have a word.
Someone have a word. That's a great question to ask the Facebook chat. Not Facebook chat.
Community corner.
Yeah, those people.
Community outreach.
Those people that hide your negative statuses on Facebook. What's it called? Games Workshop. Ask them. They'll sort you out. Right. So you can summon them, obviously. So save dash, 5 wounds, not very survivable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will fall over as if daylight had emerged.
Bravery 10, though.
Yeah, bravery 10. So you're not going to make them run away. Well, I don't know. If you can have units up to 8, 2 to 8.
Yeah. So if you kill 7 of them, there's a chance the last one might run
away. Yes. You need to cover all of it. Don't be like that.
Yeah,
right.
We're covering it.
So in attacks, they've got per base 5 attacks each, 5s to hit, 5s to wound, no rend, and damage 1.
But they're 3-inch range.
And they've 3-inch range, which is weirdly interesting.
Yeah, quite good. That is. I don't know about the rest of it. But...
I don't know. So they could potentially do 5 damage each.
Yeah.
So 10 damage, but they'll probably do 1. Yeah. So if everyone's okay with that, yeah, that's fine. So they're not built. They're not. I'm not here to tell you that they would be. If you're like, I'd like to take loads of bats and kill stuff, that's not. Just get a Terrorgeist and model it as a bat. That's what. That's going to be.
Yeah, they're not there for killing.
They're not there for killing, and they're also not there for holding objectives. Like Archean's just put in the chat, he says they're better than Nurglings, but Nurglings are probably quite good actually at holding objectives. Well, that's what I've used them for, and I've seen people use them for. They're like kind of weirdly okay at holding objectives, depending on what they fight. They're not good against it. Like they're good for those light kind of assault units that you sometimes get people trying to drop in a back line, like tree revenants. But they're not good against like Ripperdactyls. They're more of an Alpha Strike kind of backline unit, aren't they? So yeah, they're not very survivable, even with the Deathless Thralls or Deathless Minions save.
Yeah, and even with their weird, if they do a wound and they heal their wounds, then because they're not likely to be doing many wounds.
Yeah, so that's the Bloodsucker's ability. Yeah. So yeah, again, they're not going to be built for that, but. Why are they cool? Let's talk about why they're cool, right? Yeah. So they look rubbish. There's no background, and they're not good in a fight. And they're not survivable, so they're not there for holding units. They have. So we'll move straight past that.
They're quite quick.
They are fast. Yeah. Right. But Aceface just says selling them so far. Well, that's not really the job. The job is like, why are they cool? Yeah. And what do they do? And it's because of their Cloud of Horror ability, which is units within 12 inches are -1 to hit and shooting.
Yeah.
And because you can just run them on the first turn, that means your opponent could be -1 to shoot with their shooting units right off the first turn, which is ace.
Yeah, and what's the range of the thing? It's 12 inches.
12 inches.
So it's quite big.
And it's all units within 12 inches.
So it's quite a big area that they cover.
Now, you can't stack it.
No.
At all, because it says units within Bat Swarm. So you can't stack it. There are other ways to put other -1 bouts. So we'll talk about those as well. But I think we were talking about the Morghast before, in the show before, and we're going to be talking about Spirit Host later. Having Bat Swarms just knocking around to protect those other units is just amazing, right?
Yeah, well, they're just a nuisance, aren't they? So if you've got a shooting army, particularly, they're just a nuisance. So
Day in the chat just said, Rob, describe me. Looks rubbish in a fight. I have no idea what I am for. Yeah, these are. Yeah.
Are you fast, Dudade? How fast are you?
If you're fast, that's fine.
And do you distract people when they try and shoot other people?
But the -1 to stop many units shooting is absolutely great.
Yeah.
Especially with Skyfires, especially Caradron Overlords, especially a lot of shooting. Kurnoth Hunters, we don't see them. I don't think you'll see them as much in the future. Generally, but they just absolutely weaken whole armies, and when we get to it, that point's cheap as well. So, like, really functional, and they're clearly like never going to be. They don't have anything else as a selling point, so they'll always be relatively cheap in game. So you can just throw them forward or summon them, which is really cool. And you can summon 5, and you can have up to 3 bases, but only deploy 2. So you only have to pay for 2 in match play. Yeah. All right. So everyone happy with that? Are you hard to hit from a foot away? Yes, that's what they do. So what do you think about that? Like with armies you use, Nathan? Like, if someone threw a few of these forward.
Yeah. No, I like having little units that aren't a major threat to people, but they are a nuisance, and so people are going to have to try and do something about them, and it just seems a waste whatever they do about them.
Yeah,
but it's great. Yeah, that's really useful facility, and I mean the fact that they're quick. I mean they can nip up and grab an objective that's not being contended, and then just forces your opponent to do something about that. The -1 to hit forces your opponent to think about trying to do something about that. Can use them as screens for if you've got a really fast army that like a Terrorgeist that's bombing forward and you just want something in a screen. These things are ideal for that sort of stuff. So,
exactly, and just like I think Terra Penguin said in the chat there, but you can summon them 9 inches away. so they can be affecting huge portions of the opponent's army straight off the bat. And they're summoned on a 5.
Yeah.
So, and like we talked about, or when we get to it, you might not have listened to the show before. Sorry, we're doing this in order. When we do get to it, there are ways to summon very quickly, very effectively, very efficiently. It's just awesome. Like, really, really solid. I think these are very good. And I like to talk about John Rowson on Twitter earlier, tweeted me and was just like, been using these, I love them. I'm in a WhatsApp group, a fella called Lee. He's just like, bat swarms for days. Yeah, he's loving them. He's finding them super functional, super useful. Yeah. And that's great. Yeah. I can't read the chat anymore. They're all insane straight off the bat. They're all going to be on the stage. Right. Yeah, and it is wasting their units. It's wasting their units to attack it, especially if they...
Well, it's using resources that they could be using to attack something that maybe you want to survive a bit longer so it can do its own thing. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think these are really, really solid. And there are other ways to affect them as well. If you have the Allegiance ability for Soul Blight and use Swift Death, you can add 2 inches to the move characters for all models that have the Swift Death bloodline. So you can just throw those guys. So now they're move 14, and you can run D6 if you don't want to summon them.
Yeah.
So I just think they're just really functional and really cool. And that's basically would be my pick. So as we go through all the other stuff that you can take them with, effectively the -1 to hit is the only thing that stands out, apart from the background. Background's ace. What was it?
Bats.
What's the background?
Bats. It's bats, man. Bats.
The Batman. So yeah, these are the only reasons. They're the only reason to take them, I think. Yeah. But, the fun of throwing 4 loads of bats.
Yeah.
But if you guys have done a really cool conversion or done anything ace with them, please shout up.
Sound of silence.
Sound of silence. Okay. What can you... So, formations, Nathan. Do you know what battalions you could take these in?
I bet there's loads. The Batman formations.
The Winged Avenger formation. Call it here.
Yeah.
Death's Wings formation. None.
Oh,
There's none. There's none. I'm so sorry. So gutted about that. So there'll be none of that for us. So moving straight on. What sort of things can you use them for? Well, so what other units can you use with them?
Yeah.
So you have Arkan the Black.
That fella again.
Fella again. It's just basically just the same stuff.
Is he like Batman?
But this might be the only
time.
But this might be Batswarm might be someone's army, so we're just going to go through the whole process again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He obviously can cast better, so he's got from his Staff of Spirits, he's got +2 to casting, and then Mortark of Sacrament is +1 to casted summons. So basically, what I'm saying is he can summon these guys on a 2.
Yeah. Is he called Arkan the Black because he's Batman?
Oh my God! Someone paint him as Batman. Arkan the Batman. They just keep summoning forward. Yeah. That would be ace, right? Flying forward. Or as Notley's just put in the chat, if you guys listen at home and haven't read it, obviously you can just paint him up as like the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah. And just have all the bats as like, fly, my pretties, fly. Yeah,
that's the other thing. They're not flying monkeys, they're flying bats.
Yeah. Then you got Neferata, fly, and ignore rend. So
great with save dash.
Doesn't do anything. That's useless.
And it can fly.
But Neferata is the big one because command ability Twilight's Allure, enemy units within star, so it gets worse as she gets wounded. Big question around that. A -1 to hit.
Oh, okay. So
Neferata plus Bat Swarms, you're now going to be -2 to your shooting.
Yeah.
Now Neferata is quite unsurvivable generally, but you could, because the Bat Swarms aren't really going to be doing much.
Yeah.
Maybe
she could use that spell on herself.
Exactly.
That ignore rend one.
Yeah. So
not going to use any use on the bats.
And then you've got the gash. So you've got all the cool stuff about the gash. Double summons, so you can now summon 6. There you go. So there's your way of getting it so that you're paying the same amount of points as you can summon. So you can summon 6.
Yeah.
At range, obviously, and then he can You can summon them on a 2 as well.
Nice.
So that's nice. He doesn't do any other bonuses. You can reroll to hit roll ones of them, but they're not there
That's for when you're doing that assassination run with your bat.
The bats.
3-inch reach, boy.
Oh wow. Okay. This is a fun one. I'm enjoying this one.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, you got Nagash, and obviously, like, you might, if you're taking Nagash, you can just, if you're taking like the Death Lords army that we're talking about before, or any of the other Death armies, and you do have reinforcement points, any of the Death Mages know to summon these. So what's cool is if you are using a reinforcement pool, you've always got the option to have these Bat Swarms in.
Yeah.
So if you come up against a particularly shooty army, you know that you can shut them down.
Well, yeah, you can make them a bit shitter.
Yeah.
Send them some bats.
Send some bats, fly in front of me, protect me. And that's cool.
Yeah.
I think the Death faction is the weakest of all 4, right? I think that's my opinion. That's my thoughts. And Nathan, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, it seems to be the less represented, and that's generally an indication that people think it's quite hard to play with.
Yeah, but I think the toolbox functionality of the summoning ability is really interesting and really exciting.
Yeah.
And I think having some Bat Swarms in there would be great for you.
Yeah, that's good to have it in your back pocket. Definitely, a few bats.
If you target the bats with bats nearby, does it get reduced? Bats only make you minus shooting, so you're -1 to hit with your shooting attacks against the enemy. So the bats aren't -1 to hit. All of the enemy shooting attacks aren't -1 to hit within 12 inches of the bats.
But that was stacked with things like Neferata's
ability,
the Mongol,
and the Mongol. Yeah, we were about to get onto that. Yeah. So, well, let's do the Mongol first. Yeah, Ghastly Apparition gives -1 to hit to units within 6 inches. So obviously, it's had its War Scroll rewritten after the General Silent Book 2017. But there's very much the potential to have all of the shooting coming out of an army in front of you be at -3 to hit.
Yeah, if you get Neferata close.
And the Mongol. And the Bat Swarm. Yeah. And actually you can do -4
with the Cursed Book.
With the Cursed Book from a character.
Yeah. What's the range of Cursed Book?
3 inches.
I'm not worried. You get them right in their face, yeah.
Yeah. So units within 3 inches.
Yeah.
So I just think that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Personally. Like shooting down. A lot of people shutting down the shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut their shooting down.
Shutting it right down. Yeah. I think people talk a lot in Age of Sigmar about the shooting currently.
Yeah.
Lots of conversations on all Warhammer Live. A lot of conversations I had was about we need to get a lot of line of sight blocking terrain because people could just shoot each other off the board. Death have no shooting, basically.
Yeah.
They do in places, but not really. Not compared to the other alliances. So they need some way to shut that down so they can get in range.
Yeah.
I just see this as being like as a huge go-to.
Yeah. The Bat Swarms are a great way to start because their range of influence is quite big compared to the Cursed Book, Neferata, and the Mongol are all fairly short range, aren't they?
Yes.
Bat Swarms are getting that job done quicker.
Yeah. So much quicker.
They're just like
Batman.
You stood at the bottom of a well and there's all these bats.
They're just flying down.
Circles going around and around. So your shotgun stops working properly. There you go.
There we go. And then you can also do a Hellish Figure. So you can double the move of them. So you can move 24. So that's on a Vampire Lord on an Abyssal Terror, which is a Compendium War Scroll.
Okay.
What's cool about that, like Terror Penguin was saying in the chat, is the fact that you can summon them and they can be 9 inches away. It means you're affecting everything in their 3 inches in their deployment on the first turn, or sort of any time. What's nice about the double move and then moving 24 is that it's functional if you've got other stuff in your army that you want to double move, like later on you want to do the Vampire Lord, the Zombie Dragon, the Goat, or even the Mongol. But specifically, if you want them to move 24, to just kind of really drop them right in the middle of the army, or 3 inches away, so that 12-inch bubble is affecting so many more of their units. I just think that's really, really good as a choice, and not something to miss, personally. And it maybe even makes it harder for the enemy to get away. Like Skyfires, for example, they really want to be they want to be hitting you on 5s and 6s to do those mortal wounds. But if you kind of got a couple of units of bat swarms that you've moved, in a kind of like an area of effect so that they can't even move out of it, you're really switching that off as well. I would say that then they don't feel the points that they paid for the unit, but that's too cheap a unit, so it's fine. And that's it.
That's all the buffs.
That's all they wrote. There's no battalions. It's been, honestly, when I was writing the show notes for this death stuff, I basically went through the entire Death Alliance when I was going through things.
Yeah, all of 5 minutes that took you.
Yeah. And it's very sad that, like, even there's just, like, I know there's Flesh Eater Courts, and that's ace, and there's loads of battalions you can have in there. And now they've got Allegiance ability as well. That's really cool. And the fact that you've got Soulblight Allegiance ability as well is great. It just wasn't much, truth be told. And I was a bit like, oh, this is sad. Yeah, but that's cool. What do you guys in the chat think? What do you guys think at home? No Justice League. You can have Batman, Fishman, and all sorts of stuff. You have a great time. What do you guys in the chat think, Nathan? What are your thoughts to these guys?
I think they've got utility, definitely. I was looking at Death Army. I might have a couple of these just as an option to pull in.
It won't take you long to paint.
Yeah. No, just dip it in a pot of black paint. Or just, whatever. No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the Death Faction's a bit of a ghost town.
Yeah, I think they got utility, though, these guys. Fast little annoying unit, aren't they?
Yes, very fast. Very fast, very functional. And I think if you're a Death player and you have reinforcement points, you probably should be playing with reinforcement points anyway. But if you are a Death player with reinforcement points, these things need to be around so you can just drop them in places against those shooting armies and just, or even just block charges. They're cheap.
That's it.
Yeah, they're very fast.
They're fast enough to be able to do it. So
they can't necessarily screen like some of the other fast units, especially flying units, but you definitely create a 3-inch null zone around the bat swarms.
Yeah.
So if they like got big bloodletter lines, like we've seen Dan Ford use, and they're womping across the board, you can just put these in the way, and he has to deal with them first. And he doesn't necessarily have shooting to deal with them first.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting choice as well. To put them out, and that's it. Those are my feelings.
Yeah.
That's my like.
They're dead fast, which is great, and they've got an annoying little ability, which is sweet.
Yeah, that's a reason to take them.
Yeah,
the -1 to hit is the reason to take them. So that's it. That's everything that we've got to say about what you can do with them in the game. And now we go on to them at their points value in the current General's Handbook, and their point is 80 points for 2.
So that's 10 wounds.
That's 10 wounds with no save.
Yeah, about 80 points. Movement 12. Yeah, it's not bad, is it, really?
Not bad. Do you think too much, too little? How does everyone in the chat feel?
I don't think you can. So you've got to kill all 10 wounds to get rid of them. You're not going to battle shock. If you kill one of the swarms, you're not going to battle shock the other half off, are you?
You telling me you're not running units of 8 of these?
No, I'm not.
That's like 400 points. 400 points are useless. Go for it.
No, I'm not doing that for some reason. Don't they get a regiment's discount? No.
Wait, actually, do you know what? I didn't even check. I don't think that they do, but continue on with your point.
Seems redonkulous if they did. But cheap little unit that is fast as fuck and annoying.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think great. I think 80 points maybe a bit too much for functionality, but because they're not going to survive long. But yeah, I agree. Like the fact that you can attack them and do some stuff with them. We're going to write a list. So if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching on YouTube, there'll be some links somewhere. Twitch guys, you're going to have to wait a couple of days for us to get that up. But you guys get to hear it all first, which is cool.
Yeah.
We'll put a link where we've designed an army with these as the main unit.
These are a support unit, aren't they? They're not ever going to be the backbone of your army.
No, they're not. Ace says it seems a realistic amount of points to have as reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, if they were priced anywhere between 40 and 80 points, it's probably the top end of the scale.
Yeah.
If they were priced at 40, I don't think I'd complain if I was playing against them, or 60 or 80. I mean, 40 might be a bit cheap. Probably 60.
Yeah.
Probably a bit more realistic, but yeah, 80's all right. And Notley's accepted a challenge. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so let us know what you think. If you're listening to any of the shows that not on Twitch, if you're watching it, listen to the podcast or watching it back live on YouTube, not live on YouTube, record, whatever. And you've got some ideas, please message us on Facebook or Twitter, let us know what you think. Or leave some comments and we'll get back to you on it. I think that's cool. If you've run them and you've got some, and you completely disagree with everything we said, and they're like, they're the best combat unit army in the world, they're like, cool, let us know, because I want to hear, right? Yeah, that's what's really interesting. I haven't seen it, but if they are, that would be
going to run them with Nagash, so he gets that +1 to hit, or whatever it was, or reroll ones to hit.
Yeah, reroll ones to hit, and you can also reroll ones for their save.
Turn them into terrorist bats, man. They're just going to come across there, kick you in the dick.
That would be really interesting, and we'd love to hear from you about that as well. That would be cool. Yeah. So just let us know, which is ace. Thanks for the guys in the Twitch chat being with us. You guys have been great, and obviously this has been brought to you by all the people who've supported us on Patreon. Thanks very much. You guys are cool.
Thanks.
It's been me, Rob.
And me, Nathan.